Hi guys, bjthebrave here with another deck guide for you. This time I'm bringing you a Sautekh of Dynasty or Necron build, and this one I call Tempo Scarabs. Now, I've been playing this deck for the last 3 days, and mainly between ranks 40 up to 30 on ladder. And I have to say, guys, that the deck itself is a lot of fun to play, and it's actually holding its own. It's all all the top decks out there. So this is a really fun one. I'm really excited to bring this one to you. So what we're going to do in this guide is I'm going to walk through each of the cards and talk about why they're in the deck. I'll make it clear where there might be a flex slot that you could kind of maybe add your own flavor, or if you don't have any kind of key cards, you can kind of swap things in for. And then what we'll do is we'll dive into some games and kind of see how it works in practice. Okay, so let's go for it. So first of all, as you can see, we're going with Uriel the Diviner. Now, Uriel the Diviner is really great for this deck for a number of reasons. The first reason is his talent. So his talent, Master Chronomancer, only actually costs 1 energy, and as most of you guys know, that a lot of the Warlord's talents in this game cost 2 energy. And so the fact that it only costs 1 is significant. Why? Because a lot of the build relies on playing very cheap stratagems to go with and complement the units that we're putting on the board as well. So access to essentially 1 energy stratagems are a real premium in the deck. And that's exactly what Uriel gives us every single turn. So for that alone, it's really great. On top of that, his ability allows you to see 3 cards from your deck and to select one to put onto the top of the deck, so you guarantee to know what your next draw is going to be. And so that enables us to do what the name of the deck says, which is to build tempo and ensure that we are selecting the most efficient and effective unit every single turn. So moving on, we have got 2 of the Sautekh Scarabs in the deck, and again this allows you to, on turn 1, get off to an exceptional tempo start. You can play the Scarab out along with Uriel's talent that we just talked about, and if you're going second, you've also got the 0 cost deal 1 damage stratagem, which means that we can essentially on our very first turn spit out 4 Scarabs. For anyone who doesn't know, what the Scarab's ability is that every time we play a artifice, every time we play a stratagem, it basically spits out another Scarab. So if you had 4 Scarabs on the board and you played 1 stratagem, you would actually, each Scarab would spit 1 out, which would mean you'd end up with 8 Scarabs on the board. So a lot of what we're doing with the Scarabs in this deck is managing our board. So you've got 8 place spaces on the board, and you're constantly saying, right, when do I want to play the stratagem so that I can double out my Scarabs efficiently? So we've got 2 Scarabs to the board. We've got a series of cheap spells then. So we've got the Extermination Protocol. This deals 2 damage. We can use it to remove troops. We can obviously use it for face damage as well if we need to sort of try and burn and rush the enemy down. So a really flexible card, and again, most importantly, just 1 energy synergizing beautifully with the deck. The Hyperlogical Strategist is really cool. Now, especially if you're new to the game, this is such a cool card. Once you get it, it's an epic, but it gives you access to legendaries. There's the stratagem that I think it's 6 cost, and it gives you your entire board +2 melee and +2 range, which is super powerful in this deck because we tend to go wide and have a full board quite often. So Hyperlogical Strategist is a real flexible card in that it enables you to select what tool you need for the job, right? If you need to res something from the grave, it might give you that. If you need to spit out like an AoE clear, it might give you that. So it's the thing to bear in mind about this card is it gives you access to a stratagem from the Sautekh Dynasty collection, not your personal collection. So you get to basically play cards that you don't even have, which is pretty cool. Protection Protocol. This unit, this is again very flexible. We can put it on a big unit to give them Vanguard. We can even put it on a Scarab to give us a 4 health blocker, essentially, speed bump, and of course we can use it to raise a dead unit with the Remnant ability. So very, very flexible, and again, importantly, very cheap, and so we can use it to synergize to create more Scarabs. So how do we actually begin to get the Scarabs going? Well, we've got the Spider Nest that immediately deploys 3. So on turn 4, for example, we can play this, followed by the Hero talent, keep wanting to say hero power. It's a bit of a half-stone hangover, but you can basically play the hero talent with this, and that immediately gives you 6 Scarabs. We've also then got these 3 I also often think of in a package. Is very good against Marines, which is the Technomancer, which keeps raising Remnant. So you've got that, the Tomb Blade, which basically has flank and can deal with flyers effectively because it's a flyer itself, and it has 3 range. But most importantly, it's Remnant. So when it dies, we can bring it back to life with a Technomancer, again by simply playing a stratagem. Because of the Artifice ability, it will raise any remnant that is currently still on board. So we can combine the Tomb Blade and Technomancer really well, and of course we can do the same with Praetorian. So Praetorian also has Remnant. It's a Vanguard, so this is a really decent stats for 3 mana. We get 3, 3 and 4 health, so very, very good speed bump, especially considering the fact that we can keep raising it back from the dead. Now Countertech Spider is another way of starting to get the Scarabs going. So often if you have a Scarab board, for example, and then you get AoE'd and lose all of your Scarabs, you can play like a Spider and then a spell or 2, and you can restart building your Scarabs up again very quickly. It's also a very nice body, and it's got regeneration, so you can kind of chip away and do damage with the Spider. Now Deathmark is very much a flex spot in this deck. I've tried this with the Curse spell, which is 4 mana. I don't have the legendary stratagem. If I had that, where I can do +2 attack and +2 melee and +2 range attack, I would probably play that in this slot, but I don't have that card. If you have that, then go ahead and put that in. But also Deathmark is quite a good one because we tend to have a lot of Vanguards in the deck, and Deathmark can hide behind a Vanguard and just snipe things off with that really, really cool 5 range attack, which sometimes can be 7. We'll come on to that in a minute. And it doesn't take any damage back, so it's pretty powerful. If you wanted to run the Gauss Immortals for only 3 mana, slightly cheaper, lower the curve, they're really good as well. So I'd say Deathmarks and Gauss Immortals are really good cards if you don't have all the cards in this deck to definitely put in as flex spots. Chronomancer is another flex spot. I have the legendary. You don't need it. It's definitely not pivotal. Obviously this card is a good body. It has regeneration. When you deploy a troop, it gives it the flank ability, which means it can attack enemy troops the turn it arrives on the board. So it's very powerful. What makes it even more powerful in this deck is that when we play Chronomancer and we raise new Scarabs after playing a stratagem, those new Scarabs can immediately benefit from that flank ability and can attack. So you can just do waves of attacks instantly. So it's pretty powerful in the deck, but it's not by any means necessary for the deck to work. Okay, so moving on, we got the Doomside. Now, early game, we can struggle with flying units, and that's where Doomscythe comes in. The Scarabs themselves don't have any ranged attack, for example, so the Doomscythe gives us a really good tempo play, and it helps us stay in command of the board. So really cool slot for anti-flyers. Lichguard is utterly amazing in this deck. It's a great card anyway. It's potentially one of the best, I would say it's one of the best best Vanguards in the game for 5 mana or less. Now, what makes it even better in this deck, apart from the fact that it's protecting like your Scarabs, is that we can potentially mitigate its weakness. Its weakness is a 0 ranged attack, and we have a way of buffing that to 2, so that it can really deal with all the small units that try to pick it off. So Lichguard is a must, and often is a target for reconstruction protocols as well. Can keep raising Lichguards out of the grave and putting them back down. Same thing can be said for our Praetorians. Moving on, we have the Plasmancer. Now, this is fantastic in this deck. 6 mana is quite expensive, but because you need not just the 6 mana, but you really want to be playing this with a spell. So again, with our hero talent or spell, whatever we're calling them these days, it works really well, right? On turn 7 we could play the Plasmancer and then drop that. It does 3 random damage, it can burn face, it can help you clear up the board. It's very, very powerful, and if you get this guy hidden behind a Lichguard, it's pretty much game over, to be honest. I run 2 of these. I only just recently got my second one, because it is an epic. I would say that you could get away with just 1, and the deck still worked quite well for me just with 1. So to start with, you could run 1 and then maybe add the second one when you get it. And last but not least, and the real star of this deck is one of the stars of the deck is the Triarch Stalker. So this is really the finisher that we need. Triarch Stalker's great. Why is it great? Well, it's essentially a win con. It hits the board with, when you've got a board full of Scarabs, you've pretty much won. It gives all of the Scarabs 2 range attack, which allows you to pretty much clear up the board. It allows you to start putting on pressure on the enemy Warlord to finish the game. And usually the turn that you drop this, or the turn after, it's game over. But the Stalker is good, also good in games where your Scarabs have been wiped out. It helps you to continue to develop tempo. And one of the great things about this deck is, even without the Scarabs, aren't the only win con. So even without the Scarabs, you can play some of your bigger bodies. And again, the Stalker, just helps those bigger bodies to just really dominate in the late game. So it has regeneration. It has 7 health. I wasn't a huge fan. I wasn't seeing it when I first saw this card, but honestly, I've used the card a lot, particularly in this deck, where you are constantly trying to put pressure on the board and stay ahead in tempo. The Stalker is absolutely superb at that. So I would say this is a must. If you're looking to play this type of deck, then you want to go ahead and get the Stalkers. I don't think this can be replaced in this deck, to be honest with you. Maybe you could get away with one and a Necron Lord or something, but I would probably say that this is one of the staples of the build. It's not a great card if you are wanting to build more of a Necron control deck, because it doesn't really go in the Necron control deck, but certainly in this deck it is pivotal. So I have got a video. If you check out my channel, please like and subscribe. You'll see I have a video talking about which epics to craft in which order for Necron. So go ahead and check that out. So yeah, so that's the deck, guys. We're trying to control the board, basically pull out loads of Scarabs, overwhelm our opponent, get the Stalkers down and win the game. Let's get into some games. Okay, so against Uriel, we need to be mindful of this spell here. It deals 1 damage to an enemy and its situation unit, so it's really, really good at clearing up Scarabs. So what we wouldn't want to do, even if we had the Scarab, is play a turn 1 Scarab here, because they just get wiped out. So instead, what we're going to do is we've already got a Praetorian, so we're going to take this. See, there we go. So we would have lost our Scarab straight away. So instead, what we're going to do is look to do that on turn 4. So turn 3, we just drop the Praetorian. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked face there, actually. Okay, good. So we've just drawn out that very early on. Don't know why he's done that. It's not very good. Not very good at all. So what we're going to do is Spider Nest into Master Chronomancer. I think for now we're happy to. We'll take this actually. Just because we've got the Praetorian and the Lich card in hand, we may well want something to raise them from the dead. Yeah, I'm not going to attack face just yet. Okay, so we can raise that back up. So what we're doing is we're counting here. We've got 3. So we got 1. We've got 4 spaces basically. So we're going to do this. So 1, 2, 3 spaces. Yeah, we've got an odd number. So we'll do it now, I think. Actually, we can kind of save that. Lots of pings in this deck. It's a tough one for the Scarabs, but again, we don't rely just on the Scarabs themselves, so now we get to see something really cool. So we can play this guy, and what we can do now is just keep churning out. Oh, Mr. Stalker. So now these three that have just come out, they come out with flank, right? So we can just use those to take out the troops. I'm going to actually just... I'm going to stop at that because I really want to get triac value. Okay, fair enough. So he uses the hard removal on that. That's what's good about that card. It has a good body and it usually bakes out removal. Now, we're not going to play Triarch this turn because we've also lost this. Instead, we're going to drop the Vanguard and then set up the Triarch next turn where we can play it with a spell. So, this. Next turn we pop the Triarch down, game over. I mean, that's assuming he doesn't have Storm Raven and like the board.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Okay. So now we get so you're just constantly managing the board, making sure that you've got enough to keep refilling before you continue your attack. Not that it matters here. Finish off with a Lord. And yeah, GG, game in the bag. Eldar. We're playing against Demos. And shout out to Demos, actually, to he's somebody who's also played this deck and gave me a lot of like encouragement to give it a try and lots of really cool tips on when I was first learning to play it and stuff. So shout out to Demos, really good player. I think he's playing like aggro Eldar quite high up as well at the minute. So. Do we go in with the... Yeah, I think we go with the nest now. Because he's probably going to counter with a flyer, and then we can counter that with a Tomb Blade. The other way is we could have obviously gone Tomb Blade and then done this next turn and then benefit from the talent to maximise Scarabs, but I think this is correct.
Protects the craft world.
So we've got 3 slots left. I knew there was one left somewhere. I'm just trying to minimise the spells a little bit.
So comes the hour of bloodshed. The bloody blade of Cain.
Just a legendary, isn't it?
The schemes of fate are treacherous this day.
Okay. Quick win.
Is my weapon. Your pitiful mortality will be your ruin. In time you will rot, but I will still be here.
We got a mirror match. Scarab on Scarab action. Well, if we have, that was quite useful for wasting his... that really wastes his important units to generate his own Scarab engine early. Just going to control the board here a bit. We play Spider's Nest, we've got units on board then to react. Oh, that's good. We could get that back now if we wanted. So he could now use Reconstitution Protocol, bring that back and hit this guy. Okay, I'm going in with this. Kind of ironic, isn't it? We got this down. Don't need his ability. Not actually great there's not actually great options there, to be honest, because they don't make good use of this guy's ability, and 2 of these 3 troops aren't remnants, so this is not actually the best turn, to be honest. I think we need to... He's going to probably finish that, yeah, so we're probably going to use this then. So I think we bring the Tomb Blade out because we can actually kill this Guardian with it. Oh no, we can't. Oh no, miscalculated my mana. Oh, I really messed that up. Okay, we'll have another one of these, and then we'll just basically put this down because we know we're getting one next turn. I really messed that turn up so badly. For some reason, I thought the Technomancer, I was calculating in my head as though the Technomancer was on board. It would have been an amazing turn if the Technomancer was on board, but I didn't get that right, so... Royal Guardians. Royal Wardens, I mean, not seen those played for a while. Okay, so this turn we can recycle this, probably. Spider's Nest, baby. The funny thing is, normally they'd be able to attack the flanks as well, but obviously it doesn't have any troops left. The regen is nice. Hard removal. really got to choose our top card last time, did we? Oh, baby. So we start bringing out our endgame cards. Plasmancer, drop the Triax Stalker. You can imagine if he had a troop, we could actually attack with that as well. Alright, because it's a flank. But now we get the oh wait, did we have one more that could do face? Yeah. We should put it down below 1 in case you... I know we can't. Okay. I was just going to say, if you could clear the board somehow, then we'd only have 2 attack, right, with Orpion, so we should have put it down to 1 if we could, but we couldn't anyway, so I think that's going to be game. Or is it? Yeah. No, it's not. Boy. Yeah, still game. Nice. Nice effort on the comeback. Just going to take a suicide to attack. So yeah, pretty cool game. So you can see, like, in that game, he did actually still manage to wipe out a lot of our Scarabs, but the game's not over. The game, the deck is really built around tempo. So with or even after the Scarabs are removed, we've got huge units that then can continue the tempo that we built from the Scarabs. So that's the deck, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Please remember to, if you did like this video then and want to see more of these, let me know in the comments. Let me know what type of content you want to see. I'm really keen to make content for this game. There's not enough of it at the minute, so let me know what you want to see. But I really appreciate any likes or subscribing to the channel, just so you know when new videos come out. I'm making them every other day at the minute, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And just lastly, just to say, I mean, look, I definitely think Orican is the right leader for this deck. There are some flex spots in the deck. You know, if you don't have certain cards, I would say more death marks are something that you could try. I would also say that you could run the Gauss Immortals. They work really, really well. Even the Tesla Immortals, but where's the 3-drop Gauss Immortals? Yeah, these ones. This is a really good card to get in there. I would also say Curse of Pharaon's pretty good, because obviously when you've got loads of Scarabs, if they play bigger units, then this kind of has nice synergy there, so you could definitely do that. You could even try things like Psychomancer to like stall units, or obviously just for removal you can throw in the Destroyers. So there's a lot of things that you can play like in the tech spots. You could even go with a Scythe Assault. I tried one Conquering Tyrant. So there are a lot of things you can do. So, but I do think you really want the Triax Stalkers, and obviously as a staple for this build. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.